Yavapai Broadcasting and the City of Cottonwood proudly present Inside Cottonwood, an inside look at the decisions and issues of the City of Cottonwood. Brought to you by Arizona Smile Designers. Here's Cottonwood City Manager Doug Bartosh.
Welcome to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Doug Bartosh, also your city manager. And I have with me today Hez Allen from our Parks and Recreation Department, and he handles all our special events. And then my executive assistant, Kyla Allen, who also handles a lot of events. And this year in particular, both of them are working on Arizona's Centennial. And for those of you who may not be aware, although you've surely heard about it, is Arizona is celebrating its 100th anniversary this year, and we officially became a state in February 14th, 1912, and so obviously that date's coming up. And we have all kinds of events planned, and so Kyla, do you want to start off and talk about some of the stuff that you've been involved in?
Absolutely, we've done so much. Do you want me to talk about what's coming up first?
Sure.
Next thing coming up. Everybody gets a bell. We have our bell ringing event coming up. These wonderful little, I'll give you one too so you can have
Centennial bells.
Centennial bells are for sale at the city and at our recreation center. But on February 14th, so that's 2/14, at 2/14, we're going to be ringing a bell to commemorate the exact moment of statehood. And this isn't just in Cottonwood or in the Verde Valley, this is the entire state. So Tucson's going to be doing it, Phoenix will be doing it, Flagstaff will be doing it all at the exact same time. So if you have a bell, go outside and ring your bell. If you don't, go outside and hear it.
Mm-hmm. And again, if you want to purchase one of these, you can go to the Recreation Center or City Hall.
City Hall, they're $2.
And they're $2 a piece. So come on in and get them. It's a nice memento of the anniversary, and also an opportunity to participate in the bell ringing at 2:14 p.m. on February 14th.
And we're going to gather at the Recreation Center for the initial, and we'll probably all pour outside and ring the bell there, but we're kind of gathering at the Recreation Center to coordinate the event. And
since it is Valentine's Day as well,
That's
you better
right.
buy two, one for you sweetie. And one for your significant other, and make sure you bring them with you.
That's right.
Otherwise, you may be in trouble.
Now, it's really neat. If you look at the tree, it's got little hearts in the branches, so it counts as a Valentine's gift.
There you go.
Particularly if it's red.
That's right. Get the red ones.
Don't tell her it was $2.
Yeah, they're but they're great collector's items. We also have a copper bell, too.
Little tiny copper bell. This costs the same amount because this is pure copper. We only have a few of these left, so if you're really interested in the tiny copper, you can tell it's a pure ring when you jingle it.
You can definitely hear it.
Definitely a little cowbell thing going on there.
You know, and for you motorcycle enthusiasts out there, put this on your motorcycle, and apparently keeps the mechanical
away.
Yeah, the mechanical gremlins away from your bike. So just multi-purpose bell, but that's really a beautiful bell too.
It is. It's
so
gorgeous.
Another great commemorative collector for the Centennial. So what else is on the agenda?
What other items we have going on is we've also got on the 17th, Dolan Ellis, who's the state balladeer, is coming into our community. He's going to be performing at the Old Town Center of the Arts. And also Wyatt Earp on the 12th, which is Sunday. He'll be performing at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And this gentleman is, I believe, the great-great-grandson of Wyatt Earp. And he'll be performing as if he was his great-great-grandfather. So that's going to be really fun, too. I'm going to be there.
I think he's actually the great-grandson.
Great-grandson?
Yeah, I think.
Couldn't remember. So
I think it's the great-grandson.
I'll be straightened out here.
So anyway, I understand he does a fantastic show. And for those of you who are Tombstone fans and the OK Corral, I think that's really worth hearing.
Yeah, you got to be there and see it from the horse's mouth there. Other things going on is in March is the Archaeology and Heritage Awareness Month. So that kind of brings in our heritage of Arizona. We've got an old-fashioned Easter egg hunt in April, and the neat thing about the Easter egg hunt that Hez is going to be a part of, I'm sure, is they're going to have a copper Easter egg that's representative of Arizona and our copper mining. And so they'll have a copper Easter egg out there for some lucky child that we'll find, and it'll have something special going on in it. So that'll be neat. Brian Mickelson Marathon in April, also centered around the marathon, the Centennial.
Yep.
Neat thing, and I didn't hold this up here, is Arizona Birding Festival is actually this month, and let me see. I know I wrote down exactly when. I just want to make sure everybody knows. Oh, I'm sorry. April 26th and through 29th. And this is their need. I don't know if you can see this. They're actually celebrating the Centennial too. If you see this illustration, it's got the flag in the back. It's a really beautiful illustration. I need to find out who did it.
Yeah, it is a beautiful.
But it's one of the biggest draws into our community is the Birding Festival, and they too are participating in the Centennial. So it's
and again,
really
that's
neat.
April.
That's going to be in April, and that's the 26th through the 29th. And you can get on the Verde Valley Birding and Nature Festival. Oh, actually, birdieverde.org, and get on there and get all the information about it. And they'll give you, if you want to sign up for workshops and things. I don't know if they're letting you do it quite yet because they fill up so quickly. They might wait until April to do that.
And the chamber helps with that too.
They do. It's
Absolutely.
a chamber activity, definitely.
And it's
birdieverde.org.
Okay, and that is a significant event, and really all the events this year are pretty much tied around the Centennial. So probably for all our events this year, Walking on Main, I don't know if we've got something planned for Sizzling Salsa, but I'm sure Hez can probably tell us that. I know you've got an event coming up here pretty quick, Hez, called, is it the Bootlegger?
Bootlegger's Crawl, and it's this Saturday. When this airs, it'll be already over, so we hope to be celebrating how much of a success it was.
Oh, we missed it.
Yeah.
But it'll be this Saturday, and it's pretty neat. At 6 p.m. when you're done at the birthday party at 3, because it'll go from probably 3 to 5, 3 to 6. You'll get a little 10% discount card, and you'll be able to walk up and down Old Town to enjoy the restaurants and the wineries for 10% off. And the thought is to create that Main Street feel of 1920s where people were walking up and down the street. So we're pretty excited about it, and just another thing to help celebrate the Centennial and celebrate our history too, because definitely the state has its unique history, and so does Cottonwood, and we want to celebrate that and promote it as well.
And I think that's an important piece to mention is certainly not in 12. I don't recall when Prohibition came in. I think it was 1918,
1933 it was abolished.
It was abolished. So, but
I had to look that up.
For those of you who may not be aware, is Cottonwood had quite a bootlegger industry here, illegal alcohol industry, and predominantly it appears that it was down in the Old Town area. And so that's why we kind of bring this back to that time period and use the term bootlegger, because that is part of our history and something that's a very interesting part of our history in terms of bootlegging. And I know somebody who knows a lot about this is Karen Leff at the Cottonwood Hotel, and if you go and look in her window, she's got tons of historical information that you can read, not only about Cottonwood history in general, but certainly the bootlegging period of time in particular.
And she's very willing to share.
She is.
She even has a still in the window, really neat. I don't know if it's still there.
No.
Last time I looked, did it leave?
No, it's in the vineyard.
Oh, that's right.
That's not the one in my backyard. I was just checking. All right.
Yeah, it's a beautiful copper still, but it's in the vineyard now up above the entry door. So, but anyway, exciting place. Let's go ahead and take our first break, and then we'll come back and talk a little more about the Centennial.
Sounds
Come
good.
back and join us.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Arms are facing down. Bend that front knee. Tuck the tailbone. Sink the shoulders. Look over that left middle finger. Inhale here, ladies. Exhale. Open the arm. Deeper, deeper. There we go. Okay, now focus. And find that special place that brings you joy.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Doug Bartosh, and I'm here today with Kyla Allen, who's my executive assistant, and Hez Allen, who's our special event coordinator for the city, among, I think, several other titles.
No relation.
He's here today. Yeah, no relation. They're not brother, sister, son, daughter.
Nope,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
So, anyway, we are talking about the Centennial and talking about the events that are going on, because this is the 100-year anniversary for Arizona in terms of our statehood. And so you had another one you were talking about, Kyla, I think that involved the Clemenceau Museum.
Clemenceau Heritage Museum has really jumped up, and they're really doing a neat display. If you haven't been there yet, and it's going to be on for quite a while, go on by. And not only do they have that really neat train, if you've never been in there, really detailed electric train set, but Mary Liggett put together this remarkable display. It takes up a whole room of clothing throughout the last 100 years, beds, telephones, the type of computer type things that they would use over the last 100 years. So she's really got some nice stuff and a really good display in there. So stop by there, and it's free. There's no cost to go into the museum. They just love you to be there and sign your name so that they know how many people they've had. But it's really neat. I just stopped there last weekend. First time I've been in there in a long time, and it's a great display.
And they probably have my old Commodore 64 computer in there.
That could well be.
But anyway, in any time, it's always a great experience to go to the Clemenceau Museum and see what they've got going on there. Some tremendous history and great historians who work there, really. And so it's really worth the trip. And then you were talking about a book that I guess they've published
Absolutely. Helen Killebrew and Helga Freund, and I hope I pronounced that right, Helga, worked on a book called Images of Cottonwood, and that's the name of the organization. Arcadia Publishing does these. They print these out and publish them. And if you go to any B. Dalton Books or any of those kind of Amazon.com, they'll have this kind of book there. But it's finally got the one of Cottonwood out by the Centennial of the state, which is really neat. It's got old photos, and this book is available at the Heritage Museum. And it's also going to be at our birthday celebration. I'm lucky enough to have one signed by both the authors. It was really neat of them to do that. We've got this on display at City Hall. But if you want to know about some history in Cottonwood, this is one of the places to go. They have some really fun stories, remarkable stuff. And if you go into Clemenceau Museum, a lot of the volunteers there have been in this area for a long time, and you can just sit and chat with them, and they just come up with some really neat stuff just through their lifetime.
And there really are some great pictures in there that really do tell the history of Cottonwood, which again has a rich history, really interesting history. And I know, Hez, we've got the Mickelson Half Marathon coming up, and we've added
a full marathon.
A full marathon.
So we're excited about that. So if you don't get enough punishment in the half marathon, feel free to sign up for the full marathon. It's at 0.2 miles that hits you over the edge.
Yeah.
So.
And I was thinking maybe you were going to say that you added a ultra 100 miler for the.
Maybe next year. Who knows? Well, bicycles. We're not. We'll do anything. So. We're pretty excited.
If you're interested, if you're a runner, even if you're not a runner, you're a walker, come out and walk the 10K, and I think we have a 2K as well.
Yeah, we have 2 mile, we have a 10K, a half marathon, and a full marathon. Start your training now, so you don't do that. Try to push it all in a week, and then it comes time to race time, and you collapse. But start your training now. I know there's things on the website. You can visit our website through the city's website for the Brian Mickelson race.
And what's the date of the race again?
I believe April 21st.
April 21st. And again, it's a beautiful course. I mean, it was gorgeous. It gets you out into the wilderness. And
speaking of the history, you run by Tuzigoot through Dead Horse. It's I think one of the best courses.
Yeah.
Not that I do a lot of half marathons.
It is a great course. I've run the half marathon, and I don't think I'll ever do the marathon, but one of these days.
Yeah.
And then you talked about 4th of July, which is always a great event in Cottonwood.
Yeah, for our 4th of July event is, we like to tout it as one of Northern Arizona's premier fireworks show. Typically, because we're the only ones that can shoot off. We shoot off a large slag pile. It's a very impressive show. It will last about 30 to 40 minutes. This year it's kind of surrounded by the Centennial theme. We're trying to add some things right now to kind of push that a little more. But also come out on that one, July 4th. We have a free cookout. A lot of great volunteers and sponsors that help put that on.
And it is, I know when I first came up to Cottonwood in 2005 and I saw the first fireworks display, I was really blown away. I thought, wow, this is absolutely incredible.
Such a small community to be put on.
Yeah. And it really was a beautiful event. You know, one I know we kind of skipped over was our Sizzling Salsa event.
Yeah.
And we're even talking about doing some historical kind of significance to that event as well. You want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, and correct me if I get the names wrong, but Valenzuela, or
Right. Richie Valens.
Richie Valens. And
everybody knows Richie Valens, La Bamba.
And his mother?
It was his mother, I think, that I think her name was Connie Valenzuela. Actually, I think was born and grew up in Cottonwood.
Yep.
And we are talking to the family about getting some representative here. But in essence, for our Sizzling Salsa Day, we want to make it a, you know, kind of a Richie Valens La Bamba Day, and really get that flavor in there of
help celebrate him and his family and his achievements. And
absolutely.
Yeah.
So, and you know, again. You know, Richie Valens tragically died early in his career, along with Buddy Holly and the
plane accident, I
the
believe.
Big Bopper, and real loss. But we have an opportunity to celebrate his life and celebrate the life of his family and their contribution to this area as well. And I know Cadillac Angels are going to play.
Yep.
And Tony, the lead singer for Cadillac Angels, is very excited about this and knows the family. And
Awesome.
And I believe the Old Town Association are going to keep things posted on their website, keep people in touch on what's going on for that event. And things are unfolding as we speak, so keep that one on your calendar.
Good fun.
we will. Okay, from there, what do we have the rest of the year in terms of events impacted by the Centennial? Are we doing anything for Walking on Main, or?
You know, I think February 14th, I don't think we went back to explain how this all works with the
Right, we went
Centennial.
to July, so let's go back. Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, first of all, the premise was with this whole Centennial thing is that the whole state comes together to help celebrate the Centennial of the state of Arizona, 100 years. But each community is doing things differently to help celebrate that. That touches on their history, which also touches on the state's history. So that's kind of what we've done. And we started last year with Walking on Main. That's kind of our 50th anniversary.
Right.
Kept rolling on, and I believe it ends on the 14th. So that's
The Centennial celebration in Cottonwood actually ends the 4th of July. That's our big bang for the end of the celebration year. So everything that leads up to that, we're
Right.
just really enthused about getting the Centennial out there and in front of people's faces. And so every celebration, anything that the city does, we try to get that worked into it as well.
right.
Yeah, because we really did start last year.
In November.
Yeah, with I think it was Walking on Main, wasn't it?
Yep.
Yeah. So by July we'll have been in the process of celebrating this for about a year then.
Exactly. Exactly.
Okay. Well, that's great. And you know, I think it is important to kind of give people that background and get everybody to realize that it's not just Cottonwood celebrating. It's every community out there is going to be doing something. I know Clarkdale has some stuff planned, and I'm sure Camp Verde and Sedona and Prescott and so in fact I'm involved in one event over in Prescott, which I'll share with you when we come back from break. So let's take another break and come back and join us and hear a little bit more about what's going on with this year's Centennial.
Welcome to Happy House. #1 in customer service. There's simply no better place to be.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. I'm your host, Doug Bartosh, and I'm here with Kyla Allen and Hez Allen, again, no relation. And they're talking about the Centennial and the different events that are going on this year. And before we left for the break, we were talking about how other communities are also celebrating the Centennial. And one of the events that I've been invited to participate in, which seems like it's really going to be a lot of fun, is a Governor's Centennial Ball that is being put on by the Prescott Victorian Society. And I have been asked to, I guess, portray or act as one of the 12 territorial governors. And if you know anything about history, there was a long period of time when Arizona was a territory, and during that period of time, there were territorial governors. And so in 1912, I guess they became state governors, but prior to that time, there were 12 territorial governors, and I'm actually playing a territorial governor by the name of John Philo Hoyt, who was the 4th territorial governor, served about a year, and then was followed by John C. Fremont, who people may recognize a little bit more. But so anyway, interesting. It should be a lot of fun. They're talking about for the ball having dance cards that you have to get filled out, and really following the protocol of that period of time way back. And this would have been before actually, you know, the 1900s.
Right.
So, or
right.
In the 1900s,
in the
I guess.
1900s, before
Yeah.
Prohibition, before
Right.
all Victorian dress, authentic Victorian clothing.
Right.
You know, with the long black long coats and the high collars.
And I know Kyla really gets into this because her and her husband dress in,
we got
what would
action
you call
shooters. We're authentic 1800s, 1900s garb when we go out. Absolutely.
Yeah. And she actually carries a gun, and she knows how to use it.
Everybody watch it.
Yeah, be careful.
Watch out.
So anything else we need to share regarding the Centennial that people need to know?
You know, I think that's a large majority. If they have any more questions, feel free to visit the city's website. Right there on the main page on the left, if you scroll down a little bit, click on that, and it'll come up with an events calendar. Feel free to call the Parks and Recreation number at 928-639-3200, or City Hall, I believe that's 634-5526.
Very good.
And give you all the information that you need.
Okay.
Feel free to come out, ring the bell. How cool is it? At the same time, all over the state, people are going to be ringing the bell. So if you're sitting in your house and you're wondering what's going on, that's what's going on.
It's not the fire alarm or burglar
not the end of the
alarm.
world. Don't drink the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that will be exciting, and we need to make sure that everybody's, I guess, watches and clocks are synchronized. So
Exactly.
And how long do we ring them for? Is it
For 1 minute.
for 1 minute?
And actually,
okay.
this station will also be celebrating it.
Okay.
They've got something planned to do for 1 minute during that period of time. So watch.
Okay,
Watch and listen.
So that's Yavapai Broadcasting. I assume it'll probably be on all their different radio stations.
I don't know if it's going to be on the
think, but-
radio station. I know it'll be on the television
but-
station.
Okay. Oh, okay, on the television station. That'll be great.
And I'm sure they'll have that on My Radio Place on their website.
MyRadioPlace.com, right.
Right. Okay. Quickly, while I have you both here, because I know you wear other hats, and Hez and the Parks and Recreation staff are doing a great job. I know one of the popular events that goes on right now is Looking Good.
Oh, yeah.
Cottonwood.
Yep.
And so can you still get into that, or is that closed up? Or?
You know, I think it's closed at this point, but feel free to call the rec center. I don't have all the answers. But the program is a huge success, and it was started last year, and I think unbeknownst to everybody, it was like, wow, we have one here. This is pretty exciting. The staff at the recreation department, they do a fantastic job with this. If you have any questions, call Heather, the fitness supervisor, or email her, and she can give you all kinds of answers. But the premise of the program is that it's a program that focuses on losing weight in a healthy manner, dieting, exercising, using the facility, and weight that's going to stay off versus weight that you're just kind of trying to lose for the program. Although the program does have rewards for people who lose the most weight, they do a cash prize for the biggest winner, or the biggest loser, so to speak. And then the Verde Valley Hospital, I believe it's a hospital. They help us out tremendously with this program. So,
well, and again, I think this is one of those contests where if you participate, you're going to win because you're going to lose weight.
Exactly. You're setting personal goals with this program, and that's the ultimate goal of this program, is that you set personal best and you change a lifestyle versus, like I said, just doing it for this couple of months.
Yeah, and that's really the goal here is, certainly as Americans, we've heard it over and over again, we're overweight. And we don't eat right, we don't get enough exercise.
Yeah, I believe the French really nail us on that one. So
yeah, so don't let the French nail us. Get out there.
Exactly.
Participate, and even if you don't want to participate in the program, you've got a facility here in Cottonwood that is
top notch.
Top notch. It really is, and make use of it. Go down and sign up, and the fees are reasonable, and it's a well-maintained facility, and just a great asset for our community. And so make use of it.
And get down there and get your membership if you haven't gotten one yet.
That's right. Definitely worth it. And then Kyla is the president of, we used to call it the Humane Society.
Humane Society, that's correct.
Yeah, but it's now called Adopt for Life.
Adopt for Life Center for Animals, that's
Center
correct.
for Animals, and I know they've been making some great strides there for an organization that was really on the brink of failure. I know you guys have made some real improvements to keep it, really keep it sustainable.
Really, and probably the biggest thing we've done lately is the grand opening of our thrift store, the Paw Boutique. It opened this day that we're filming. Terrific turnout, bunches of people there. A lot of community support, and that's the big thing we need. And the thrift store, that's actually one of the items that supports the shelter. So we relocated the thrift store from a location that really wasn't very user-friendly. Now we're in Old Town, and the old Recreation Center building. It's at 971 North Main Street, and our manager, Linda Nuss, has done some really neat things in there. If you haven't been by, go inside there. They've got a nice little tea room, an area just for the kids to shop and pull their things out. I mean, she's done a remarkable job. And we even got, and this is a new thing that nobody knows, we were even surprised with a box truck today, where our new executive director was able to wheel and deal and get this huge box truck so we can pick up equipment. Now we can pick up furniture. We can go to Prescott and pick up dog food, excessive amounts, large amounts. So we were really thrilled, and it's just because of the community backing us so heavily over this last few months.
And they really have done a good job, and this is, an important service for our community. And I think one of the things that, because I get regular reports on what's going on at the Humane Society, based on the number of animals that they take in and those that they have to put down. And it's always heartbreaking for me to see how many, and I think that's actually improving.
Oh, quite a bit.
I think it's just a reminder to everybody that it's always great to have a pet, but there's a lot of responsibility that goes along with it. And so if you have a pet, make sure you pick up after it. There are leash laws in the city, and by all means, get it spayed or neutered, because there are just so many animals that produce and produce and produce, and those are the animals that we eventually end up having to put down, and that's just not fair to anybody.
And we're just coming into the puppy and kitten season. Right now is when the cats really reproduce and the kittens, and so we have a lot of feral cats and a lot of people that had their dog had puppies and they bring those in because they couldn't get rid of them or sell them. So this is the season you really need to be careful with your animal.
Mm-hmm. You know, and last but not least, talking about animals, something else that I've heard lately that is distressing is people feeding wild animals. Do not do it. Not only are you putting people at risk, but you're putting the animal at risk. What you're essentially doing is domesticating them, and eventually they think that they live in regular society, and eventually they're going to do some harm, and they're going to end up having to be put down by Fish and Game or whoever. So don't do it. It's just not good for the animal or for our community. Mm-hmm. With that, I want to thank you guys, both of you guys, for coming in and sharing the Centennial and then the other programs you're working on. And I hope you join us again on Inside Cottonwood, and we'll look forward to it.
Thank you.